رويني حبا وعشقا ينقلب نبض حياتي، ليكون الليل صمتا أنت فيه ذاتي، تائها من غير درب قصدا نيل الثريا، واسقني منك عطاء كي تقر النفس فيا. أنت ما زلت خيالا في هواه القلب ذائم، كل ليل منك طيف لمع بين الكواكب. لا تعاملني غريبا، صورة منك تتني، لا تدر عينيك عني، منك رسم خلف جفني. لا تعاملني غريبا، صورة منك تتني، لا تدر عينيك عني، منك رسم خلف جفني، منك رسم خلف جفني. أنت دوما كنت جنبي، بك كالأحلام ليلي، وانتهت بقاع عمري وأنا ديني كغزلي. أنت دوما لي كظلي وأنا دوما وحيد، أن تذكرني بنفسي علني صرت السعيد. أنت ما زلت خيالا في هواه القلب ذائم، كل ليل منك طيف لمع بين الكواكب. لا تعاملني غريبا، صورة منك تتني، لا تدر عينيك عني، منك رسم خلف جفني. لا تعاملني غريبا، صورة منك تتني، لا تدر عينيك عني، منك رسم خلف جفني، منك رسم خلف جفني.
Chained to the windmill of my loss, circling around my pains and sufferings, I am destined to perish in my small bed, or box, or grave. Every night I go to my grave to surrender my soul to the nightmares, my flesh to the demons to devour my memories and dreams. Every night in my bed, my grave, I only hear the singing of my sins, hovering above my head, waiting for the next night to multiply. My Lord, close the gate of my desires and restrain my demons from devouring the remaining parts of my soul, because my soul only belongs to you, and what is yours may never die. In this night, revive me from my grave with your blessings and greetings. We do not meet so much people who are hungry, who are needy. And even if we, see some people on TV, we tend to change the channel because we cannot handle those crises. We cannot see them. So we cannot understand their sufferings. Of course, it is something normal. We all have that, feeling. We cannot handle the suffering of others. because of a psychological defense mechanism. So it is something normal. So in most of the times, we tend not to understand the sufferings of others. We cannot understand the frustrations of so many people around the world, maybe millions, tens of millions of people who cannot provide for their family, for their children, and for the people who they love. So we cannot understand their sufferings. In fact, out of the wisdom of God, God has created and made fasting obligatory to make us understand the sufferings of those people, to make us understand, what they feel, what they suffer, to understand their pain, to understand their frustration. So Ramadan is a place, a factory, I can say, a time to understand the world, to understand the emotions of people, to understand the nature of people without looking into their ideology or belief or religion. We need to understand the suffering of people as, as human beings, not as races or as people who belong to some ideological groups. This is the wisdom of God. This is the beauty of Ramadan.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إلهي لا تؤدبني بعقوبتك ولا تمكر بي في حيلتك. من أين لي الخير يا رب؟ ولا يوجد إلا من عندك. ومن أين لي النجاة ولا تستطاع إلا بك. للذي أحسن استغنى عن عونك ورحمتك، وللذي أساء واجترأ عليك ولم يرضك خرج عن قدرتك. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب. بك عرفتك وأنت دللتني عليك ودعوتني إليك، ولولا أنت لم أدر ما أنت. الحمد لله الذي أدعوه فيجيبني وإن كنت بطيئا حين يدعوني. والحمد لله الذي أسأله فيعطيني وإن كنت بخيلا حين يستقرضني. والحمد لله الذي أناديه كلما شئت لحاجتي وأخلو به حيث شئت لسري بغير شفيع فيقضي لي حاجتي. الحمد لله الذي لا أدعو غيره، ولو دعوت غيره لم يستجب لي دعائي. والحمد لله الذي لا أرجو غيره، ولو رجوت غيره لأخلف رجائي والحمد لله الذي وكلني إليه فأكرمني ولم يكلني إلى الناس فيهينوني والحمد لله الذي تحبب إلي وهو غني عني والحمد لله الذي يحلم عني حتى كأني لا ذنب لي فربي أحمد شيء عندي وأحق بحمدي.
In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, all praise is only Allah's, Lord of the worlds. May His peace and blessings be upon the master of all prophets and apostles, Muhammad, and his pure, immaculate Ahlul Bayt, especially Imam of Time, may Allah hasten his glad advent. Another day and another Quranic issue, which I'm going to address, is beyond the answer of this question I'm going to pose. What can we do for our children to improve their beliefs, their Islamic creeds? What can we do to reinforce their beliefs? You know, the Ramadan month, this blessed month, is the best opportunity for improving our children's beliefs, to reinforce our children's Islamic creeds. We can teach them beautiful poems. We can teach them, I don't know, religious poems. And if you just surf the web, you can find numerous poems, religious poems. We can just make them sit in front of the television and watch, I don't know, religious cartoons. We can take them to the kindergartens, even good kindergartens, that they teach good things to them. But are this enough? Are these things enough? And are these things the things that Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them all, the purified Imams, peace be upon them all, ordered us and recommended us to do? No, none of them are. They're good things, but they are not the things that Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them all, recommended us to do. What is that? What should we do to reinforce their religious fundamental principles and beliefs? Imam Sadiq, peace be upon him, answers this question and says, بادروا أولادكم بالحديث قبل أن يسبقكم إليه المرجئة. Initiate. This is very beautiful, and this is a brilliant hadith that should be as a religious principle for all of us to upbring our children. He says, may Allah send His best regards to him. Initiate teaching your children with the hadith, with our ahadith, with our narrations, with our traditions. Before the murja spoil it to the murja, or those people who don't believe in Islamic beliefs, and they're not just specially people. Places also can be imagined under this title. So, as you know, our ahadith have divided the life of a child in 3 parts. Number 1 is from the birthday of him or her until the 7 year, and the second 7 years, and the third 7 years. Okay. Today, especially, I'm going to talk about the first part. I mean, the first 7 year. We have to encourage them to do good things, good devotional acts in this great month. We should not tell them that it's a must for you to say prayer, it's a must for you to fast, it's a must for you to wake up in the early morning to say your morning prayer. No, this is not what the Sharia says. This is not what the religion of Islam says. No, the religion of Islam says in this great month, encourage them. give them presents, give them gifts, just for a single day to fast, even not perfect. For example, tell them, if you like to wake up with us to fast, you can do, but I don't want you to do it every day. You can do it every other day, or even one day a week. For a 5-year-old boy or a 5-year-old girl, it's not necessary, it's not a must in the sight of the hadith of Ahlul Bayt, peace be upon them all, to fast. No, it's not. So we have to encourage them, even if they cannot complete their fast, even if they get hungry in the middle of the day, we can tell them, you did the best job, you did the great thing. We give them presents, we give them gifts, and the best thing, and this is the best thing we can do in this blessed month. Let's improve our children's beliefs in this blessed month. Thank you very much. All the best to you. Goodbye.
It is possible that the tall and strong people get away from God. It is also possible that the short and weak people may rise to the sublimity of the sky. Sometimes the Quran immortalizes the voice of an ant, and other times tells the stories of those immortals in hell. Yet, sometimes a strong man increases by his soul, rises by his modesty, and immortalizes by his deeds. He employs his strength and status to preserve the veil of Lady Zainab. He kneels to raise Lady Zainab to her camel. Sometimes he stands to prevent the blazes of the sun from burning her face. These tall palm trees, high, shade the plants from the heat, so they may glorify God. The entire universe finds its strength in the presence of God. The entire universe will rise immortal if it could find its way to the water of Ahlul Bayt. As human beings, we tend to lie so much. Because the society, the life is really hard, we need to adapt to the difficulty of life. And one of the strategies, one of the ways, one of the methods to adapt to our surroundings, to our problems, is through lying. So, I know it is something wrong, but again, it is one of the natures of being human beings. And one of the greatest things one can ever do is to overcome that nature, to get beyond the vices of lying. However, we tend to develop the ability to lie from the very first years of our lives. You know, children are smart. We should not underestimate their ability to lie. They can recognize that as parents, We do not know so much things. That's why they tend to, maneuver in their speech and tend to, change the way, the style of their speaking and get what they want. They can lie easily when they get up to 9. So we should be careful because, of course, they are innocent, but they have the ability to do that lying in a very clever and smart way. So children may lie for different reasons. Maybe because they are afraid, or they want to avoid criticism by their parents, or they want to get attention, or they want to get rewarded, and other things. That's why the first thing as parents we need to do is to recognize, to identify their needs and their fears, and provide for their needs and avoid them from the situations that make them anxious and fearful. Imam Ali has a very beautiful instructions when it comes with the, dealing and bringing up our children. He stated that our children are born in another context, in another historical context. We should not deal with them. We should not treat them in our own mentality because maybe the distance between us and our children might be, 2 decades or 3 decades. So the social matters, the historical context and the social context is really different between us, between the parents and the children. So we need to recognize their needs. We need, to give what they want, of course, within the limits of rationality, because as humans, we need to be free. Of course, we cannot give them the freedom they want because they are not mature enough to decide for themselves. But within, the logical limits of freedom, we can provide their needs and we can avoid them from fearful situations. That's the time we can make them, avoid telling us lies. Let's be honest between each other. Let's be honest towards our children and let's teach them how to avoid telling lies.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم أعني فيه على صيامه وقيامه وجنبني فيه من هفواته وآثامه وارزقني فيه ذكرك بدوامه بتوفيقك يا هادي المضلين.
The problem of history is that it is full of mistakes. The movement of history is full of disasters, wars, mass killing, and genocide. The problem of history is that it is evolutionary. What we do today will result in tomorrow. So, the history we are living in is only the result and the consequence of what has been done, yesterday and before. That's why we should look back into history and diagnose the problems of the history. Why Imam Ali was betrayed? Why Imam al-Hussein was killed in that horrific way? Why Ahlul Bayt have been marginalized? We should look back into history and read history, carefully and with mind and rationally. So, we need to learn from history. We should see that why different ideologies found their ways so easily to the hearts and the minds of the people. For example, Marxism, Orientalism, capitalism, Nazism, and other ideologies like terrorism, fundamentalism, and other things that we see today, the other, horrific ideas. Why they found their ways to the hearts and the minds and the actions of people. We should learn from the mistakes of other ideologies, of other ideas and policies. We should not repeat those mistakes. We should learn from history.